Chelsea Settles was the star of her very own docu-series styled reality show titled after her called Chelsea Settles that aired on MTV in 2011. The show followed Chelsea, a recent college graduate, as she moved to the entertainment capital of the world, Los Angeles, to pursue a career in the cutthroat world of fashion. At over 300 pounds, the show also focused largely on Chelsea's struggles with her weight as she fought to shed the pounds. In a time where reality shows like Laguna Beach, The Hills, and Jersey Shore ran the MTV reality television world, Chelsea Settles was a breath of fresh air with diverse casting that allowed for a black girl who was also plus sized to star in her own reality TV show, therefore allowing for her to tell her own story in her own words. This type of diverse casting was something that the MTV network was not and has not really done much of since. The show quickly acknowledged that the fashion industry and Los Angeles are both very image based and wasted no time asking the question, will Chelsea lose the weight and make it in LA's super exclusive fashion industry?
Chelsea, could you scoot a little bit to your right, please?
Okay. I'm nervous. I've never done this before.
I'm passionate about fashion. I love celebrities and Kim Kardashian.
I know this is a sensitive subject, but would you mind telling us how much you weigh?
Oh my gosh. I weigh 324 pounds.
I don't want to candy coat things. You're morbidly obese.
I'm not doing this right now.
You're gonna have to really change lifestyle, dietary-wise.
I've spent too much of my time being a quitter, and I just don't want to do that anymore.
I never thought that I would actually move to LA.
I've dreamed of this for so long, and we're here!
Kim Kardashian's house.
This is it! That's really our house! Kim, I love you!
My roommate will see that I'm fat and hate me. Hi! The girl is crazy. I would give anything to be that confident. I was wondering if you were hiring?
It says a challenging position, which anything would be with your experience.
We're in an image business. The fashion industry is very weight conscious.
I just hate my body and my arms and my legs.
Oh, hush.
That hurts.
Chelsea, let's go.
I can't do it.
I'm pretty sure this is like the first time I've ever seen you eat.
You're hinting I had issues with food.
But I just want to point out,
Please, I don't want to talk about her.
you're actually running away from me.
You don't know me well enough to make judgments. I don't want to talk about it.
I don't have an ounce of faith left.
It's gonna be a hard road, Chelsea.
Life hasn't been a cakewalk for me.
That was then. Is that who you are now?
Push, 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 push. I'm learning to believe I'm worth everything that I want.
People love you, Chelsea. You can walk in a room of 20 people and 19 of them leave knowing your name and loving you.
Back down, so come right back to me.
We're sitting on a beach watching the most gorgeous sunset. Luckiest girl in the world.
Please welcome Chelsea Settles to the hot seat. So in 2011, you starred in your very own reality show on MTV called Chelsea Settles, your name. And the show was about you being a recent college graduate and moving to Los Angeles to pursue a career in the cutthroat world of fashion. The show also detailed your struggle with your weight. How did you land your own reality show? And was it difficult to be so open on camera about sensitive topics like struggling with your weight?
So this is 10 years ago, almost 10 years, well, actually 11, because we started, the show aired in 2011, but the whole process started before that. So MTV, I'm not sure if it's still on their website, but there's a casting section and you can see like what they're looking for, what they're recruiting for. And I saw a posting where they were looking for an overweight girl between 18 to 21 to follow on a weight loss journey, or maybe it was 23, whatever the age was. I fit the description. So I just sent an email, attached some pictures, told them about my life, and a casting director responded, asked me to make a video, and it just went from there. But I never told anyone. I'm a really private person. So I think I talked to my family about it, but that was it. Whenever the camera crews came to follow me, like at school and just seeing what my everyday life was like, I never mentioned it to a single soul.
Did you find that it difficult to be so open on camera?
Yes and no. I feel like after a while, the producers, because you have the same people that are following you and filming, they become your family. So after a while, you forget that the cameras are there. So I think it's easier to step outside of yourself and talk about some of these uncomfortable conversations because you really do forget that the camera's there. And I know that sounds crazy because it's a camera, but still, they become your friends. So you tune it out and do what you have to do. It's when it starts airing, that's when it was like, oh wait, this stuff is really on TV, like this is going to air.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I think you'd have to be a person that was really into wanting to be a part of the spotlight or wanting to be on TV. Like today, there are people that genuinely want to be seen and they want to be on TV. That's what they aspire to do. I aspire to lose weight. That was it. I was lost and I didn't know how to go about getting a trainer. I was a broke college student, came from a single parent household, wasn't something I could afford, and I just needed help. It wasn't like to be seen. So that part of it, I always shy away from.
I read in Us Weekly article about your weight loss journey, and in it you said that you tried everything under the sun to lose weight before the show. And you said something really interesting in that interview, which was that the pounds really started to come off when you changed your mindset and started to eat for fuel and not because you were bored or emotional. How did you get into that mindset, and how do you maintain that mindset?
So, because I was still very new in my journey when that article came out, I still was probably like maybe, I want to say like 10 months with dealing with the weight loss at that point. I had lost it very quickly through restricted eating, going to boot camp 6 days a week, working out sometimes 3 days within a 1 day window, just back to back to back, doing nothing but working out. It became something that I found joy in, of course, but almost like an obsession. Like the food that I was using as the vice and for comfort and emotional purposes, it shifted to getting the weight off. So I would say that definitely when you do kick it into high gear and change what your mindset is, it helps. But those habits don't go away. So I'm still to this day an emotional eater. Now, when I did that article, I would have probably told you, no, I will never gain this weight again. This is it. I'm only eating for fuel. Little did I know, whenever life happens, I have to call myself out. I'll find myself when my kids are stressing me out, when they're all over the place, when there are too many Amazon Prime packages and my fiance is running his mouth about what's on the porch and stop spending money. I find myself walking to the cabinet to go find something. And it's like, you're not even hungry. You're just mad or you're bored. There's nothing to do. You're trapped in the house with the kids and you're just stressed, like stress eating. I have to call it out because I do go through those phases still to this day. So I would say you definitely will find success when you do change your mind and know that it is all within you. But some of those habits don't just break because of weight loss. I thought I was going to be happy whenever I lost weight. Happiness and weight had nothing to do with one another, but I didn't know that. I could have been a plus size woman and could have been confident and, successful and proud of who I was, but I was too broken at the time. I was hiding trauma and thought it had something to do with my weight, but it was really just childhood stuff that I hadn't addressed.
Right.
Not the weight at all. But I know that now. At the time when I started that show, and even during filming, I would have told you that losing weight was going to make me happy. But no, it's not the case.
Wow. Now, this is a really interesting one. You were actually one of the first girls of color to have her own reality show on MTV. And until this day, you've been one of the few Black girls to do so, maybe one of the only. Did you realize at the time that you were in the minority as far as representation for both girls of color and for plus size women?
Not during the filming process, but definitely while it was airing. I think some of the most hurtful comments that I would get were not so much about my weight. Of course, I didn't want people talking about that or talking about my family. All of that hurt. But hearing people say, why are you on this network? Why aren't you on the Black network? Those type of things, those personal attacks, that's what hurt me the most. I think over the last 6 years or so, you could see that we're not as diverse and open-minded in this country as you once would have thought. A lot of that came to light recently,
Right.
but still it was magnified over the last 6 or so years. But in that period of time in 2011, that's when I realized, oh, okay, so this does exist. Because I had never been confronted with anything like that. Racism exists, but it was never in my face the way it was week after week. All of those comments, it was hurtful.
Wow, that's shocking. They said, why aren't you on the Black network?
Hmm.
Wow. The only other person I can think of off the top of my head who was a person of color with their own show was, do you remember My Life as Liz?
Yes.
That's the only other one that I can even think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, no, I never talked about that. I think I just suppressed all of those emotions and tried to pretend that it didn't exist, but that was a part of my withdrawal or lack thereof presence on social media. Definitely deleted Twitter because Twitter is ruthless.
Yes. Were you and your roommate on the show really friends, or was that something set up by the show? Like, was she an actress?
She was not an actress. We were, I don't want to say that we weren't friends, but we don't talk as often as we did back then.
Hmm.
Once I moved, I think that's just a part of growing up too. I have
Yeah.
friends that I'm very close to that I may speak to once a month. My best friend lives in Charleston. We probably talk, we text more often now, but there were times we'd go like 2 months not speaking. Nothing
Right.
going on. It's just life, mom life from here to there. She has a child too. So I think you just get busy.
Yeah.
We're definitely put in that situation together. So luckily, she was somebody that I could get along with.
Hmm.
But I mean, not like we were the best of friends, but not any issue there either.
Do you think that the entertainment and fashion industry in 2021 is as toxic as it was in 2011 when your show aired? And if so, what changes does the industry still need to make to be more inclusive?
I think that everything is just completely different from what it was in 2011. I do think it's more inclusive, but one thing that really bothers me, and I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I try to watch what I say. I don't want to offend anybody, but with the whole body positivity movement,
Mhm.
I often wonder if it's something that's genuine or is it a check?
Right.
You do gain that notoriety and you start getting sponsors. It's much easier to walk around in a crop top and a bikini whenever that check's clearing every couple of weeks when these posts are going up? Or is it something that, you really do feel passionate about and you want other people to know that there is representation? Because you walk a fine line. I feel like being healthy is important, but saying that just because I'm plus size doesn't mean that I'm healthy
Hmm.
is not so. But I think you need to be making strides to improve your health because at 327 pounds at my heaviest, I did not have any underlying health issues. But who's to say that 10 years later, if I would have remained that size, it would have stayed the same? So the message is what worries me. You
Hmm.
should love yourself presently and
Yeah.
you should be confident in who you are, but you should still be making improvements.
Yes.
I think with social media, so many people are monetizing off of their social media that those messages are not genuine. It's
Yeah.
why I've always had such a hard time using that platform. I've never used social media to monetize. I've used it as a photo album for lack of a better word. And I don't know. I've turned down many opportunities that some people would want to kill me. Like, what are you thinking? What are you doing? But if it doesn't feel genuine or authentic to who I am as a person, I just haven't been willing to sell my soul.
Yeah, I think that's a really honest answer what you just said as far as you can be a part of the movement but still be looking to better yourself. That's super important. And that actually you actually went to my next question. I was going to say recently singer Lizzo said on her TikTok, she said, quote, now that body positivity has been co-opted by all bodies, and people are finally celebrating medium and small girls and people who occasionally get roles. Fat people are still getting the short end of this movement. We're still getting talked about, memed, and shamed. Do you agree with Lizzo's statement? And what do you make of critics who claim the body positivity movement promotes an unhealthy lifestyle?
So, similar to what I said, I can see why people would think it promotes an unhealthy lifestyle, but you can't say what a person is doing because you don't know if they're making strides to improve their health. I
Yeah.
don't think body positivity means eat a medium-sized pizza to yourself and that's okay, because it's not. Sometimes you might have a day like that. Like, I'd be lying if I said I didn't eat a donut or two or three, sometimes four max. And that's crazy, but that's like when I'm on my binge, spiraling out of control, need to reel myself back in, but that's real life. If you've had a binge eating disorder, many people could relate or understand. So, but those aren't healthy habits. That's not body positivity. That's not me. I can't come on my platform and say, I ate 4 donuts today and that's okay. No, it's
Right.
not okay. Eating
Right.
4 donuts is never okay because there's something else going on. I know them donuts ain't that good that you have to eat 4.
Right.
That's not body positivity. I do understand why she would feel like, okay, it's been taken over by the masses. But I think one thing that we have to understand is thinner girls do get a lot of hate whenever they're too thin. You don't
Yeah.
have a body, you look like a boy. Does
Yes.
that not hurt? That hurts.
And they say things like they're not real women, which is very offensive.
That's hurtful. That is hurtful. This is something that women in general struggle with daily is body image because we're held to that standard. I know that men have stuff on their shoulders that they have to deal with. I think of my fiance, he's the breadwinner of our family, so he has a lot of financial stress on his shoulders that I don't have. But I feel like I have a mom hat. I still need to look good. I
Yeah.
have to work full time and then maintain a household. You can't gain weight. You can't do this. You can't let yourself go. You got a mom bod now. Like all of this pressure is on women daily,
Yeah.
not just plus size women. Yes, it is something that we face, and there are many layers to that, but all women go through those same struggles. No one is ever content. Even at my lowest weight, I was still never content with my body, a lot of body dysmorphia. Still look at myself as the same person that was 300 pounds. Like that's what I see often when I look in the mirror, not what's there. It's if it weren't for pictures, and sometimes I'm like, that picture can't be real. That has to be an angle. I'm just standing weird. Like I can't face the fact that no, you have lost weight. Like get
Right.
with it, even 10 years later.
Demi Lovato recently got a lot of backlash for coming for a froyo place in LA for having diet options. And like everyone else, I thought that she went about it entirely the wrong way. But I did like how it sparked a conversation around diet culture as a whole. I also lived in Los Angeles myself. And it really is unlike anywhere I've ever been. And I do think that there is a wildly unhealthy image based thing going on there, especially when it comes to diet culture. And it can be hard not to fall into that toxicity. How do you think that society can combat diet culture? Does it start with not promoting skinny teas and lollipops, or is it something else?
I have a hard time with that as well, with diet culture, because it's not really something that I ever thought about until I was more active on social media and I started following these accounts. I'm like, oh wait, I really do fit the mold for someone that, again, I was an overweight child, an overweight teen, an overweight adult. So diets, it's been a part of my life. Cabbage soup diet, the military diet, like any diet that you think of, Weight Watchers, it's all something that I've done. And when you do look at a lot of those products, you notice like a regular Reese cup and those Quest Reese cups, there's not much difference. Like there's more protein in the Quest, but the Reese cup is still just like fine whenever it comes to the calories. So I can
Right.
see why that's something that's frustrating to most people. For me, I've had to really look at myself, my genetics. I have trigger foods. I know people say just eat the donut. It's a trigger for me.
Right.
So those type of things where I understand people are saying it's okay to eat it. You have to know who your audience is and who you're talking to. Diet culture to me is more like someone that's 130 pounds and they've been dieting their whole life. Girl, what you dieting for? Like I
Right.
completely understand that we all have body image issues and we want to look a certain way. I get it. But at 130, You might not need to have the skinny tea and this and
Right.
that, doing all that stuff. That's who diet culture should be targeting. But for somebody like me, 327 pounds, that wasn't because of diet culture. That was because of trauma that I didn't face. That was because of my binge eating disorder. So telling me to eat a donut, telling me to eat cookies, telling me it's okay to have chocolate daily if I want to, leads me on a path where I spiral out of control. It takes me weeks to rebound from that. So I know people say, oh, that's because you're depriving yourself. No, it's because food addiction is real.
Right.
Binge eating disorder is real. Do you tell alcoholics to take one shot?
Right.
No. So why isn't food addiction something that's taken seriously? I can walk into a casino, I can put $20 in a slot machine and walk away from it and never want to put another thing in. Some people are putting their homes up because that's their addiction.
Right.
I can go and binge drink with my friends for a whole night, never touch another drink for 9 months because I don't give a crap about alcohol. But if you put cookies in front of me, some Oreos, whatever it may be, I'm going to eat those. And then later in the day, I'm probably going to go get something else because that's just, it's triggered me and it takes a minute to rebound. So I do understand that diet culture isn't the greatest thing in the world, but me, my genetics, combating this binge eating disorder every day, I have to make a choice. It's just different for me. So I think it's just your own personal walk. You have to own that. I'm not going to say that you're wrong if you want to eat a donut or a piece of chocolate, but know who you are. Know that if you tortilla chips have always been a trigger for you and you have to figure out a different way to go about it, then that's okay. That doesn't mean that you're a victim of diet culture. It just means you know your triggers and you're trying to stay on track. It's okay.
Would you do another reality show?
I have said in the past that that's not something that I would do, but I don't know. I think it would just depend on the network.
Yeah.
Different networks are looking for different things. I'm never going to put like drama out there. And I think that's important for reality shows. I mean, I watch them. I want to see people fighting and yelling and just acting crazy, but that's not who I am. I've tried to keep that side just locked away and not shown. So if it was something inspiring, motivating, uplifting, I think I could do it. Maybe YouTube is something that I could do. I've had the YouTube video that is edited and ready to be posted for 2 weeks, and I still haven't posted it because I'm scared. My best
Oh my God. You've got to post it, Chelsea. You will love it, I swear. I was also very nervous to get on the platform, but I swear it's like the best thing that I've ever done.
Oh, I am so scared. It's ready. My best friend texted me this morning and said, just post the video and get out of your head. Just randomly out the blue, she texted that because I let her watch it last week. But I don't know. Maybe this week. Maybe.
Are you vlogging?
No. So I had a videographer. His name is Taylor. I met with him like back in September of 2020 to tell him I wanted to do this video, just like a catch-up video, nothing major. I did stress that I didn't want it to be very long. So he just followed me throughout the day. I was talking about some stuff, answered some questions that came from Instagram. And I haven't posted it.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm looking forward to you posting it. What is your life like now? I know you have children and that you've relocated back to the East Coast.
So I live in Pennsylvania. I live in my hometown. I initially came back here, and that's something I talked about in the video. I wanted to be closer to the person I was dating at the time, but also I'm an only child. My mom would never hinder me from following my dreams or anything like that, but I felt a little guilty being away from her, knowing that it was just the two of us at home. So I wanted to be closer. I'm very thankful for that because I did not know, obviously, that she would pass away in 2013. But because I made that decision, I don't have any guilt. I can sleep well at night. I think if I would have stayed out there, if something would have happened and I was away, that would have destroyed me completely. I don't even know who I'd be as a person right now. So I can rest assured knowing that I was the daughter I needed to be and had said everything that needed to be said. And just grateful to have 26 years of life with that type of love bestowed on me. So I do live in my hometown. I have 3 children. So my oldest is 5. My middle son will be 4 next month, and my daughter is 2.
Wow.
My fiance, we've been together for 6 years. So you can do the math. If my oldest is 5, that pregnancy happened so quick. 3 months into the relationship, I'm pregnant, so
Oh
that
my
was a lot to get used to.
Well, it sounds like it's worked out for the best.
Yes, but my oldest son is named Adrian. My middle son is Timothy Jr. And people will say, "Why is Adrian Adrian? Why wasn't the first?" Because I did not know what type of father that man was going to be, and I was not naming my son after him if he was going to turn out to be a deadbeat. But he's amazing.
Would you ever move back to Los Angeles?
My fiance wants to move to San Diego. He was in the Navy, so he was stationed out there, and it's something he always talks about. I would love to live in the South. So I don't know. I think that Texas is appealing. I would love to like North Carolina, or I love Nashville. Nashville is an amazing city. I've been there several times, but just the vibe is so, it's like a big city, but still has like a small town vibe.
Yeah.
I don't know, probably not.
Is there anything else that you would like to say?
If there's anything that you are wanting to do, don't waste time. Don't put it on the back burner. Just go out there and do it. Don't make excuses. It's always the, oh, on Monday. I know I still do that. Okay, well, I'm not going to do it now. The week's already, we're midweek. I'm just going to start fresh on Monday. No, just get out and do it. Take chances. Don't live with any regrets. That's something that is super, super important. Even to this day, there are things that I have wanted to do. I wanted to be a personal trainer. I'm finally studying to do that. I thought, I'm 33 right now. Is it a little too late? Is that something I should have done years ago? No, it's okay to do it now. Mom, 3 kids, full-time job. I'm still going to go out there and do whatever it is that I want to do, because I want to leave this earth knowing that I've done just about everything that I said I was going to do. I think we're good friends to other people, but we don't honor the commitments we make to ourselves. So it's easy to keep a promise. If you told me, we're going to do this interview at 1:00, I'm here, 1:00, I'm ready, whatever it is, I made the adjustments in my schedule. But if it's something for myself, it's easier to push that off on the back burner. Be selfish for once. Do what you say you're going to do for yourself and know that it's okay to do that.
That was beautiful. So well said, and so, so very true. Chelsea, I want to thank you so much for being here today on the hot seat.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. It was fun.
I want to end this by saying I really, honest to goodness, think you should make that YouTube page because you have a lot to say and you say it very well. Thank you so much again, Chelsea. I really enjoy getting to know you. I really enjoy and appreciate you doing this. You have a great day.
You too. Thanks.
Bye.